you already answered my first question. I was going to ask how you're feeling, but you already said you're good.
Yes, I'm feeling good. It's oddly not nerve-wracking. I'm the main event. I got a tough opponent in front of me. He's got a really good record, the same as mine. So I know what type of athlete and type of fighter he is to get to a record like that. But I don't have these nerves. My weight is really good. I would say better than average normally. So I'm just in a place where I'm like trying to nap it off and waste time, really.
What's the mood like in the hotel? Have you run into him at all? Have you sized each other out?
I sized him up last time we were here. We did the promotion at the Alamo and things like that. So I haven't seen him while we were here this camp or this time, but I saw him a couple weeks ago. He's a warrior. He's got that fight in him. He looks like he's always ready to go, always ready to scrap. So I appreciate that. I like a little animosity. I like a little bit. I don't really like the comfort of the Sung Bin Joe where I can't really talk to him and he can't really say nothing that's gonna drive me. It's mostly just the skill of the sport. But when you get a warrior who's like, oh, he's gonna fall or I'm gonna take him out, that gives you a little bit of motivation. That's something that I like. That's something I consider that I need. I like that a little bit.
And when you're at this level and you're about to, got one fight and then get into the finals,
Mm-hmm.
how difficult is it to just focus on what's happening right now and not look ahead too far?
It's very difficult. You gotta have an understanding of who is on the other side for sure, with all their best attributes, while also understanding who you are against the opponent that you have in front of you. You got to have that thin line and that balance between um, really, really focusing on the task at hand right now, the thing that's the giant at the door, and then making it look good enough to not only put fear in your opponent, but let the world know that you're in the momentum seat for the championship.
And I already know who you'd like to see in the finals, but who do you
Yes.
think is actually going to make it to the finals?
I think Braga's gonna make it. Um, I think if he stays patient and keeps Wade on his feet, he's gonna do what I want to do to Wade, and that's gonna be punch him constantly in his face, on his feet. But you know, he's got to have some good wrestling defense. It's a short notice. He was already getting ready for Mavlid. I think preparing for Mavlid puts you perfectly in a place to beat a Karen Wade. So I think that Braga's preparation for Mavlid beats Karen.
Have you run into Wade at all?
No, I haven't seen Karen. Oh no, no, I saw Karen once. He was coming off the elevator with the muscle, with the big guy. And I think Wade thinks because he's with muscle that he is muscle, but he's with muscle because he's not.
Thank you.
Bubba, what did you learn from your last fight or your last year's fight with Brendan Lockman? It didn't go your way. What did you learn from it heading into this year?
I learned to be emotional, composed. I learned to have a little bit of a better emotional maturity. There were some antics and some things that led to me losing outside of the cage, and for me to be this mental warrior and this mental giant, I had a lot of things that, had nothing to do with the fight that cost me to lose my focus. So it was a big focus this year to stay locked in mentally and not be so unbothered, not be so bothered with all the things on the outside. So that's it.
Now you've always improved. Obviously, you've always improved your game. You're not just a wrestler. You've shown people that you can finish fights out there. What's your prediction for this fight with Pinedo?
Well, wrestlers finish fights. That's what we do. If you look at the belts and the champions and all the guys, wrestlers versus a lot of other people. I want to put our streaks and our wins up there with the strikers. I would say a lot of wrestlers has as many knockouts as some of these strikers. I would say a lot of these wrestlers has as many submissions as these submissionists and MMA. Jiu-jitsu practitioners. Wrestling is one of those sports where it's a feel, and you can honestly do it all. Once you learn how to throw a punch, then you become an easy not an easy kickboxer. Once you learn how to throw a punch, you become an easy mixed martial artist by being a wrestler and a boxer. I think those are the two best base. Then you learn how to defend the kicks and things like that, and you grow as an athlete. But for the most part, those are your focuses.
Is there a sense of disappointment that you won't be able to fight Brendan this year in the playoffs and run for a championship for you?
That's funny. I actually just got off the phone with Brandon Lockman before I walked in here. We were just talking about how weird it definitely feels to for me to be like one of the last OGs, I guess Chris Wade is in there. He's been here for a million years and never won the championship. So I guess he's one of the last as well. But it was definitely feeling different. I told Lockney it's gonna feel weird not turning the corner and maybe seeing you or your team and having that not that brotherhood, but that like bravado on the other side of the bracket. Like I'll see. Get your job done. I'll get my job done on a like two warriors after the same hunt kind of metaphor. But I used that before, and he's not here, so I guess I'm the lone warrior on this hunt in the woods, and I'm excited.
And then last question for me: what about you separates you from the other three semifinalists here?
My mentality, what's between my ears.
Thank you, Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
Bubba, Pinedo has a pretty unconventional style. Do you have he switches stances a lot. Do you have a specific training partner in camp that can emulate Pinedo?
Absolutely. We, BKMMA, we can bring in a bunch of the best guys in the world, or we have guys in the room already. For this camp, I didn't spar with anyone under 5'10", 5'11". They were 6'2", 6'3", 6'1", all taller and much bigger guys. So, and a lot of back and forth switching. We prepared for that. But it's really the art of the skill in the cage. He can switch and do all that stuff, but if it's not effective, it's just motion, right? I noticed a lot of times when he switches back and forth, it's just to not be bored. It's not really to set things up. He switches back and forth to give his opponent a different look, a different moment in the act, and then he goes right back to being a southpaw. He's 88%, 90% a southpaw. He does it because he gets bored.
You mentioned your propensity to finish fights. What is sweeter to you, a TKO on the feet or a TKO after a prolonged holding someone down and being pounding them out?
Well, the thing is, I haven't had one on my feet. I haven't had the TKO walk-off that most you want that, right? Of course, as a wrestler, many, many times I've drowned the man in the water, and then the referee has pulled me off of him for fear of his consciousness being separated from him, right? But when it comes to a fighter and getting that walk-off, and me being the type of athlete that I am and having the celebrations that I have, I'm excited about a walk-off celebration more than anybody else because I know that I'm a natural, fun, entertaining guy, and in that moment, I'm going to do something that's going to make me viral or make me even bigger just being myself. So to get a walk-off type knockout, a knockout on your feet, being the bad man, it's good for TV.
So you being the shorter of the two fighters, overhand may come into play. And you just mentioned that your desire for potential walk-off. Is that something you guys have identified in camp?
Oh, yeah. Well, the Kyle Boshiak fight, I knocked him down with one of those beautiful switch step overhands. It's one of my go-to moves, and it's something that we always practice. With Pinedo being a southpaw and leaning and being tall like he is very susceptible to the same punch that Boshiak went down to. But I don't think that I'll catch Pinedo on the back of the head like I did Boshiak. I think I'd catch him right on the chin because of his height and who he is and the way he leans and things like that. So I think it's very, very susceptible to him being knocked out by overhand.
Him having a win over someone that has a win over you, does that play?
No, we don't do MMA math.
No.
Never do MMA math. I'll beat somebody's ass that can never hold a candle to someone who can possibly beat me just because of the matchups. We don't do MMA math. I beat him, you beat him, he can beat me, they can beat us, we can beat them. Doesn't work like that.
Thank you.
I noticed you're wearing Muhammad Ali shorts. Would you consider him one of your favorite fighters?
Stop it. If you don't know me, if you ask that question, you don't know me. I'm a bad man as everything Ali. Stop it. Know me before you ask that.
Understood.
That's one?
Think about it.
Awesome. Love you guys.